This show contains views on religion that some viewers may find disturbing.
Skulls have been found at this site, but they're not to do with burials. It's believed these were taken as trophies. The story of Heinrich Himmler gives real insight into how Nazism evolved, how in 20 years a civilized European humanist country descends into such barbarism and darkness. The refinery survived the first encounter unscathed and was back in use straight away. But just down the line was World War I and World War II, then Soviet rule. The shroud completely inspires those who believe in it, because we have to remember, Jesus left no physical trace of himself on earth. He wrote nothing. There's no archaeological evidence, actually, that he existed.
He led right from the front, so the chronicles tell us that he charged straight into the enemy camp. He was in the thickest press of the battle, they say.
Hitler embraced the idea that Germany was what counted for all German-speaking people in Europe. Hitler had no time for what he saw as the degenerate Habsburg monarchy in Austria. Tomorrow is Halloween. Up and down the country, legions of the Bar Humbug army will be moaning about the import of American traditions. Well, actually, no. Halloween is ancient and very, very British. It's the kind of place that feels like it's a very good defensive position, but actually that also makes it incredibly useful for keeping people in. The Bond books were a tearaway success, and one of the most important factors you have to remember is what the 50s were like. We often think of the 50s as glamorous. We think of America and Fender guitars and Cadillacs and all that great stuff. England wasn't like that. England was really depressed, really dreary, coming out of the war, still with rationing.
Dr. Dominic Selwood is a medievalist who writes a history blog for The Telegraph. What does the history, if anything, tell us?
The fact that the two greatest caliphates of history, the Abbasid and the Umayyad, were situated in Syria and Iraq gives this very strong and potent historical resonance.
But the Greeks have consistently said that this is incredibly important to them. Why not send the marbles back? I mean, they're going to look after them, aren't they?
It's based on a false premise, and that premise is that Lord Elgin stole them, that he did something wrong and these need to be returned as looted artefacts. The reality is, when he turned up in Athens in 1801, half of them had already been destroyed, and the ones that he left have been almost completely destroyed. The best surviving Parthenon marbles in the world are those in the British Museum, because Lord Elgin saved them and bankrupted himself in the process, so we can all, in Britain, in Greece, in Russia and everywhere, enjoy them. Good? Perfect. There you go, you can all get a tea break.